A lot of people question the need as to whether they need to be able to play the same chord in different positions across the neck. So today I'm going to show you an example, and then you can draw your own conclusions from it. So the example we're going to look at today is Another Brick in the Wall by Pink Floyd. It really demonstrates this concept well, and it's a song that I really enjoy playing. Just before I start, if you haven't subscribed to my video, please just take a moment to go and click that red button. It really helps me out. So we're going to look at the chorus section, and I'm not sure if this is exactly how the original was played, but it works well and demonstrates what we want to look at. So it starts off on this G chord, and I'll just play it first and then I'll explain what's going on. So I'm sure you recognise that, very familiar tune for many people. Now it may appear that I'm playing lots of complex chords there, but I really am not, and it's this simple concept that I want to get across, how easy it is to do this kind of stuff, but it appears and sounds a lot more complex. So it starts off with a G chord. Now I am playing an E shape for this G chord, and I've just fragmented it to use the last 4 strings, so built from that big shape that you'd normally see with an E shape. Just fragmented it and played my G chord like this. And I think that's a nice tone to open this little riff off. We then go to the key chord in this instance, which is a D minor chord. And this is played in the A shape. This is based on an A minor shape in the CAGED system, but it is a D minor chord. From a D minor chord, I go up here, play the last 3 strings on the 10th fret, and that is actually another D minor chord. So I've moved from one D minor chord to another D minor chord, and this actually comes from the E shape. Okay, so I'm playing a D minor chord using an E shape. The full shape looks like this, that bar chord stretched across all 6 strings, based on this open string shape. But I've just fragmented it and used the last 3 strings to give that high-end dynamic there. If we stayed in the same position as we did originally, it doesn't have the same effect. Very, very different sound, even as it's exactly the same chord. So this is where you get your creative options when you're doing this kind of thing. From my D minor chord, I then move into a C major chord, which again is using an E shape. It's based on this big shape, E major shape. And then I go back to my D minor chord on the E shape, back to my C major chord on the E shape, and then I have this D shape here, which is actually a G chord, moving back to an F chord using the D shape again. So if I was to play the whole shape, it would look like that, and then like that. I've just fragmented it to use the last 3 strings, and I'm sure you recognise the D shape there. So we've got a G travelling back to an F chord. Then we go to a C chord, and I'm going to use an A shape here. I like to use the last 3 strings here. I'm not sure this is exactly what's happening on the track, but I quite like it at this point. So this is a C major chord, but it's based on an A shape, a normal A major chord. And I'm just using the last 3 strings to give me that real bright dynamic before returning back to my D minor chord. And then we slightly go around again from my D minor chord. We go to an F major chord, again using that D shape again. We go to a C major chord. This time I like to go to an A shape. Okay, I've fragmented it again. I haven't used the whole A shape for this C chord. I've just used the D, G and B strings, same as you would if you were playing it like that in the A. And then I finish on a D5 chord, D power chord, which is part of the D minor that we played earlier, based on the A shape. So what I have there is some very simple chords. Just to quickly run through what we've got. We've got a G chord, a D minor chord, a D minor, C, D minor, C, G, F, C, D minor, and D minor. And there's a whole wealth of dynamics going on there which really add to the song, really make it something a lot more than what it would be if we tried to play everything in the same sort of place or use just a couple of voicings. So if I try to play that with open chords, I'm probably going to really struggle because I haven't learnt this. It starts on the G chord, and go to D minor chord, another D minor chord, C, D minor, C, G, F, to a C, to a D minor, to an F, to a C, D minor. It doesn't have anywhere near the same variation dynamic that I get from playing the chords at the neck, and certainly with that D minor to D minor chord, there's a very big difference in the sound there. Again, if I did that here, I'll try and play that section. It's just not the same, it hasn't got the same feel to it. It's not really pulling my ears. It sounds right, but it's just not enough compared to... Just don't get the same level of control and interest. So, if you're one of those guys that kind of questions how useful this stuff is, obviously it depends on the type of styles you're playing, which voicings you'll use more than others, but I think there's a lot of mileage you can get out of this stuff, and it takes away a lot of the thought process. Not at any point when I first learnt that song was I looking at something like that and thinking, well, what chord is that? Because if I was looking at the notes, I'd be thinking, well, what notes have I got there? What intervals are they? What order do they go in? Is this some sort of inversion? Quite simply, I saw that as the bottom of a D minor chord. Very easy to recognise these 5 shapes. So take that away, do what you wish with it, have some fun. Please check out some of the other videos of my range. I'll be back for more very soon. Take care for now, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.